When Giulia Garofano's son, Jason Di Tullio, a beloved pro soccer player and assistant coach, was diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma in 2021, she became his full-time caregiver until his passing. In her heartfelt memoir called Jason's Mom, she shares the realities of caregiving, the pain of loss, and the enduring joy of celebrating Jason's life and career. Giulia joins us today to talk about her experience as a mother and as a caregiver. Giulia, welcome to Life on Rehearsed.
Hey, thank you, Matt, for having me.
Oh boy. Giulia, just an amazing person you are, and I'm so glad you came into studio to talk about this. You have a huge smile on your face, and I'm amazed at you after suffering such a terrible loss. So let's hear a little bit about Jason. And first of all, what inspired you to write this memoir called Jason's Mom?
What inspired me is the first year that I was going through my loss. I was looking for a therapist to take care of my feelings. I couldn't find anybody that was in my area. I'm from the East End, so the only place I could have went to was mostly towards the West Island. It was too far for me. I don't drive that far. So I decided that I'm going to try to find someone in RDP. And one of my friends, Madalena, says, I have one. She's really good with grief and all that. I says, you know what? Please, I need her number. So I started with my therapist in RDP. And then from the therapist, I get home that day and I have this lady that's coming in to asking me for a donation of products. She brings me this black book, empty, with a pen. And on this black book says, La Vie, Life. Her name is Christina. I said, oh my God, thank you so much for this book. You know what? I'm going to use it. The third day, who comes in? My publisher, writer. She's coming to buy one of my products. And I says, oh my God, this is a message. A message of what? I look at her, I go, would you help me write a book? She goes, it would be my pleasure to be on this journey with you. And that's how Jason's Mom was born.
I love
Could
that
you imagine?
story. No, and you know what's amazing in all of this is obviously, I mean, Jason died 2.5 years ago almost now,
Yep.
and everyone has their way of grieving, and all of a sudden, you know, the stars kind of align that maybe this is something that you should be doing, is writing a memoir. And so how did that process of sharing your experience help you cope with your grief?
Actually, it took 10 months to write. While writing this memoir / book, it was reliving all the emotions. I'm not going to lie. It was very, very hard for me. At times in between those 10 months, I didn't want to continue writing this memoir. Don't forget, we have to relive the emotions. Once the book was finished, I look at my publisher, I look at my husband, and I says, wow, there's a weight that just left my shoulders. It was therapy for me. It was really therapy. And I think if anybody can write a book, actually. It doesn't have to be just me. Just have to find the right person to write it for you and to publish it for you. But you know what? I'm better today. I really am.
And I see it in your face,
I
Giulia.
really
I'm
am.
talking with Giulia Garofano. Her son, Jason Di Tullio, some of you and many of you may know that name. He was a professional soccer player, played for the Impact of Montreal, was an assistant coach as well. And he died of brain cancer, glioblastoma, in 2021. Jason's Mom is the name of her memoir that Giulia, Jason's mom, that wrote this. Now, going back now, when Jason had the diagnosis, it was a tough 13, 14 months, and you became a caregiver and a mother all in one. Tell us about your caregiving journey.
Well, that was the year that we had no choice, but I had to move in with him. It was the most beautiful gift that we could have gave ourselves. So I left everything behind. I left my husband behind, and I moved in with Jason, and we took care of him from A to Z. And his father, because I'm divorced, his father took care of him the weekends when he could have. And you know what? It wasn't easy. We had to change his habits of eating. Everything was plant-based. So I had to relearn to cook everything. I had to learn how to get up in the middle of the night and say, okay, this is the pill. So from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., it was pills on top of pills, and there's a lot of them. So being a caregiver is not just being there and not taking care of anything. It's everything in between. At 3 o'clock in the morning, that he's gotta wake up to go to the bathroom. In between all this, after his 2 surgeries, Jason lost his eyesight on one side, and he also lost his short-term memory. So when you lose your short-term memory with glioblastoma, stage 4, you don't remember the moment. So if he would get up in the middle of the night to go to the washroom, well, he doesn't know where he's going, so he would literally fall, and I would have to get up in the middle of the night. So I always say a caregiver is not just 9 to 9; it's 24/7.
And you were there with him at his side
Yes,
the whole time.
I was.
We talk with a lot of caregivers here on Life Unrehearsed. Here you are, full-time caregiver for your son. What advice, Julia, could you give to caregivers about maintaining their own mental and physical health while caring for someone else? Because you could also fall into that trap of, this is your son here. You're going to do anything for your son. But now you might get sick. So what could you advise caregivers?
Well, I can advise that best. Good question, by the way, Matt. What I would say is don't be afraid to ask for help, because nobody can read your mind. I did fall sick in the year that I took care of Jason. I literally fainted in the house. Ambulance had to come. Why? The immune system can only take so much. Your body can only take so much. As much as you want to give 150% to your son from A to Z, at one point you can't. Your body doesn't follow anymore. So it's not easy. The great advice I can say is get help from a friend, from a family member, your cousins. Ask for help. They cannot read your mind. So I had a hard time with asking for help, but I did get help. People would bring in prepared meals, drop off some coffee to lift up that spirit. Like you don't need to say, well, if you need anything, call me. No, bring it to them.
Love it. It's such good advice, because you don't want to have to put pressure on people, I'm sure. So just do it. And make that happen. Talking with Giulia Garofano. Her son died in 2022 at the age of 38 years old. Jason Di Tullio. Some of our listeners may know that name as a professional soccer player. And you wrote this beautiful memoir called Jason's Mom. It was published in the summer, and you're just not doing it for book sales. This was therapy for you. And when I was talking to you off air, you said something very, very special, because yes, it'd be nice. There's a lot of good content in the book for people, and you would figure, it can't be easy. Sadness, grief. But you said something very, very special about what the book did and what you also want to tell the public.
So what I want to tell the public is because we get this a lot. They say, oh my God, I don't know if I can read this book. It's a sad book. No, it's not a sad book. It's a book about hope. It's a book about courage, how you went through it and how I went through it. Loss is loss. Can be loss of a dog, a family, someone who's got dementia, Alzheimer. There's so many ways of describing grief. My book is not a sad book, guys. It's a beautiful book about his career, about his life, our last year together, how you navigate through life. How can you navigate through hardship and to get with positive people, hang around with positive people. I got people around me, 5 parents that lost their kids at 20, 25, amazing, beautiful people that they gave me strength. They really did.
And you said at the end of it, the book is actually a book of joy.
It is. We're celebrating his life.
Now, we have to wrap up. I hate doing this. We can go on forever. You were so lovely, Giulia. Thank you for coming in.
Much.
The book is called Jason's Mom, and you can get this on Amazon, and also the production company called redheadproductions.com, and then you do /Jason's mom.
That's
right?
correct.
Redheadproductions.com if you want to check it out. Julia, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Matt. It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you. That's Giulia Garofano, the author of Jason's Mom.